Yes, I am, and I'll prove it too. Alright, criteria for anorexia. Fear of becoming fat or gaining weight. That is quite literally fat phobia. And these are required criteria. This is not optional. So you have to have this diagnostic criteria, fat phobia, to have an eating disorder, according to the DSM. Let me just state again before the thins attack me. I'm not blaming anyone for their eating disorder. Society is definitely the cause, and I'm not saying anyone's a bad person. I'm saying that you need to work on your fat phobia to recover from your eating disorder and to not perpetuate oppression of fat people.
I have had it up to here with all the body dysmorphia comments on all my videos about fat phobia. Like, objectively, this is what you look like. You are not fat. Like, objectively, you are not fat. And I know that body dysmorphia is you obsessing over how you look and like maybe even imagining being bigger or having these flaws that you don't have. But look at yourself objectively in photos or videos. You are not fat! Like, this is me. This is my body. I am a fat person. And I get treated like one. You are not a fat person. You don't get treated like a fat person. I'm sorry that you struggle with body dysmorphia, but that does not excuse fat phobia.
Hey friends, it's Skai, and we have to talk about another BS, respectfully, of fat positivity activists slash mean girls.
Whatever, I'm getting cheese fries.
And first of all, thank you so much for all the support on Eugenia Cooney channel. Thanks for commenting your own thoughts, your own experience. Just overall, thanks for spreading the awareness, your message, and for supporting my channel. There's been so many kind comments. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, I appreciate that a lot. And also, I don't think I'll make any more videos about Eugenia Cooney because I really don't want to be Eugenia Cooney drama channel, and I think she gets enough attention already. I honestly didn't even want to make previous video, but I kinda had too much to say about it, so I just made it. And no, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a professional regarding eating disorders, again a disclaimer, but I am in fact a former nurse. So I guess that means a little something. Okay, fat activism. Before I hear that I'm mean and insensitive towards overweight people, which I'm not.
Like, it's not the vibe. Stop!
Make sure you check my video about fat positivity and body positivity. I basically explained that I am aware that in fact fat people have been bullied and shamed for the way they look. And I honestly don't think this is okay in any way. But I also explained that promoting obesity as if it's a healthy lifestyle is delusional and in fact harmful to society, just as promoting starvation. I said it. We should love our bodies at any state, but at least try to take care of it. Because we love it. Because we respect it. And also respect other people no matter what they look like, how their body looks like. But fat activists don't really practice what they preach. At least those that I've seen on social media, not everyone of course. But if I truly think about it, yeah, like every fat activist that I've seen do be acting like that. Interesting. Oh, and when I say fat activist, I'm not like this is an activist who is fat, but like fat activist as in a person who promotes this fat positive movement. Disclaimer. And I will be addressing problems and I'm sure many people have with those.
Objectively, this is what you look like. You are not fat. Like, objectively, you are not fat. But look at yourself objectively in photos or videos. You are not fat! Like, this is me. This is my body. I am a fat person. And I get treated like one.
Body dysmorphic disorder is a mental health condition where a person spends a lot or even all the time worrying about flaws in their appearance that are often unnoticeable to others or aren't even there. This is kind of a general definition of it, and as someone who went through this in the past and experienced a form of disordered eating and kind of like atypical anorexia, I know how hard it is when you don't know how you look like, because your brain is constantly instantly changing an image you saw in a mirror like a few seconds ago. When you cry yourself to sleep because you can't stop hearing how extremely disproportionate you are, it's not just feeling fat. It's feeling that every part of you is formed weirdly. At least that was for me. From your body shape, to your height, to your face, and even head shape, and even hand and feet size, everything. It's literally a disorder, and having a full face of acne at the same time doesn't really help. Here I am inserting some pictures of how I looked like in the past when I struggled, and don't say, oh, but you don't look bad or whatever. I'm just giving an example, and you can just see how not confident I was. So don't be just bold and assume that if a person doesn't necessarily look really bad, that they automatically should feel good about themselves, especially when it comes to a disorder. Oh, and by the way, my acne was here actually getting better, so, but even if this was the worst, like they'll just say, oh, your skin looks good, blah blah blah. Ugh, if you had acne, you'd know. And then some bored TikToker says,
just look at yourself objectively.
you don't look bad. I am the real victim. I am the fat one. I am the one who has it worse.
So just shut up about your invalid struggles.
And you, on the other hand, wake up an hour earlier, so you take pictures of yourself before school from every single angle of your face, of your body, and have almost an anxiety attack that every person that will see you that day would judge, obsessively judge that feature of yours. And you don't necessarily just do that at home in the morning, also at school when no one's watching, when you go to the bathroom, when you see yourself in the mirror or reflection anywhere. When you come home, it's constantly in your head. It's a disorder. It's like a demon in your mind. And these women who preach fat positivity, at least most of them, completely disregard someone else's struggle and make it about themselves. They are offended that someone else is struggling with something that doesn't in any way affect them. But at the same time, they expect the respect from every person and kind of preach kindness or something. Not just that, they expect pat on the back for every single thing they say. And if someone doesn't agree with them, it must be because they're just fat phobic. I am honestly so done with this body positivity because it's not even a body positivity anymore. Like, I love that we're appreciating scars and stretch marks and acne and body hair, and that we accept every body shape. Kind of, now that when all this Instagram Kardashian Jenner look is going out of the trend, which is super wrong, but it's still the stigma. But it's just the toxic side of the body positivity that you're almost shamed if you're skinny or if you wanna be healthy. The fat positivity, it's like, oh, then you must be fat phobic. And when it comes to the people who have eating disorders and are accused of just being fat phobic, it's like the audacity. It's all about the self-righteousness. If someone doesn't agree with you, it's probably because they have their own beliefs, their own views, and not because they have a phobia of your fat cells. Do you hear how ridiculous this sounds? What if you're the one who's in the wrong? But fat positivity activists most of the time make everything about their body. And at the same time, they act offended if anyone makes anything about their body, which is so hypocritical because they actually built a social media career based on the fact that they're fat. Don't even get me started on the ED part, because this honestly crossed the line. The attitude of this fat positivity activist and of many others towards eating disorder was the same as the ones with the body dysmorphia, with their attitude towards body dysmorphia. And I find it insensitive and hypocritical because eating disorders are mental illnesses. And fat positivity activists most probably have one as well. Binge eating disorder is also an eating disorder, and no, I'm not diagnosing them, but I'm just saying, like, it's the basic human logic. And I want to be transparent with you and actually say what I think. Sometimes eating disorder starts because you want to be beautiful, you want to be socially acceptable, but it also can start because of trauma in the past or your current trauma or just the stress.
I remember arguing with her about thinness one time. She told me that soon I'd get too thin to be attractive. And I told her there was no such thing as too thin, not for me. She just stated like I was a bloody idiot. Well, there is. You won't look good. And ended the discussion there. How can you be so fucking blind? How can you be so willfully ignorant? If a child is telling you they want to be so thin they look unattractive, disgusting, terrifying, there is a plethora of reasons that need immediate discussion. Are they seeking to become unattractive because they've suffered sexual abuse and never want it to happen again? Are they trying to look like death as a near-suicide cry for help? Trouble is, anorexia isn't this sterile, graceful little ballet dancer prancing in when you call on her, then prancing out when you're done. No. Anorexia is a goddamn fly that buzzes round your head, then whenever you think it's finally left or died, you'll discover its eggs laid deep, deep in the pink-grey walls of your brain, hatching into slithering maggots that burrow and chomp, and then the buzzing starts anew, the negative voices and stupid urges and warped reflections as 1,000 flies go swarming through the freshly devoured tissues of your brain, banging round inside your skull till it drives you mad. Mad enough to go back to the whole damn mess.
I talk about this more in the Eugenia Cooney video, but it's basically a coping mechanism that manifests in creating a different world in your minds. World where your mind focuses on food, weight, and looks, calories, numbers, in order to escape reality, in order to push aside other problems and kind of block the trauma. This world is usually assembled with obsession with food, with calories in it, thinking about its taste, from controlling its intake in order to lose weight, from controlling the number of calories you burn, so the number on the scale drops lower and lower and lower, etc. It gives you the illusion of power, but in reality your eating disorder is controlling you. You just think that you're in control. And this control you feel when eating disordered, it gives you reassurance that you have control in life. But it comes with many ugly physical and mental effects, side effects, so it's actually nothing glamorous about it besides kind of looking good, but it's not even about the looks. Like, eating disorder is not a body type, and I'm also not gonna be all offended if a person doesn't know anything about eating disorder, but it's very important that we kind of educate about some topics that we can know how to approach, you know? Because also, I didn't know all of this. For example, in the past, I commented on someone's body. You know, I was with my friend and she was kind of chubby, and I was like, oh, chubbiness and the double chin. Like, yes, I was trying to hype her up. Oh, you have such nice ass, you know, like you're so thick, and like I was kind of hyping her up, but at the same time I was making comments that maybe it triggered her. I did apologize, but it's just like really important that we inform ourselves kind of about the psychology of psychology. I'm no one to talk here, honestly, but just to recognize how to say something to a person that might have struggled. And yes, you get scared to death of becoming fat, but it's a complex illness, and it most certainly doesn't give anyone the permission to give this passive-aggressive advice like, work on your fat phobia. Did I just spit? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. This is not a way to approach an eating disorder person that in fact didn't even ask for your approach or help in any way. It's honestly just a cycle of I am the real victim and your problems aren't valid because they come from pure hate towards fat people, towards me. Even if you add a simple I get that you're struggling, it doesn't make your approach caring and loving if you also add work on your fat phobia as if it was that simple. And I'm just so sick of this obsessive wish of some people to be offended over something. Like, you can't even be transparent. You can't say what you think without someone being offended. And okay, like, I get it, some topics are sensitive. I am offended sometimes when it comes to the internet, but if you saw my private conversations with me and my bestie, this is some offensive tea. But like commenting on some random person on the internet and trying to give them advice, it's much different than just having your own thoughts and keeping it to yourself, if they seem controversial. So I'm making this video as someone who went through body dysmorphia, who went through atypical anorexia. I was never actually diagnosed, but I just know, like, I met all the criteria of anorexia. It was just not as severe because, by the way, I'm a Christian, and for me personally, it was like God doesn't want you to starve. God doesn't want you to purge, because I know a person that went through this and I was like, no, I must not do that to myself. So that helped me, but you have to find your way, because honestly, everyone has their own story, their own way. And if there was a cure for everyone, I'm sure it would be found. So I'm just making this video to call out the BS of some insensitive people that also happen to be overweight. They say that people don't like them because they're fat, because they must be fat phobic. But honestly, what if you're just not such a lovely person to be around and people kind of don't like you for that? Like if you're all defensive and offended and blah blah blah. I said it. If you want to hear anything more about kind of roasting this whole fat positivity activism, you can check out Michelle McDaniel's channel or Kiana's channel. Excuse me. Their content is basically a reaction and a discussion about this controversial topic, kind of like mocking the whole situation of these fat positivity activists. Yeah, so check this out if you want to, because I honestly don't know how much am I going to be able to, my English. I just don't feel like making a lot of videos about this, but I will see. Let me know down below. And also guys, thank you so much for watching. Like there is so many of you, like over 300 people subscribed to my channel. It's like, wow, I'm actually like here to make an impact, to say something, and I actually got the audience. So I honestly don't know you, but I appreciate you so much. And please, honestly, just leave the comments down below. Like, what do you think about this whole fat positivity or body positivity or eating disorders? Like, just let me know what you think, because I'm interested. And yeah, like we can have an open discussion in the comment section. So you can also like this video if you want to. If you're new here, hey, you can subscribe if you want to, but if not, that's okay. If you want to unsubscribe, you can unsubscribe if you didn't like this video. Like honestly, I had that face when I was so afraid to say anything wrong. Like when I made the video about body positivity, like every single word I said, I was like, oh my god, is this gonna be offensive? Is this gonna be offensive? People are getting so offended with YouTube. And when I was talking to my literal best friends, I was trying to sugarcoat things because someone would get offended. It was like ridiculous. So just, I want to keep it transparent. Thank you for watching. Sky loves you, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. I have a lot of videos planned, so see ya. Bye bye.
Some of y'all about to be real mad at me, but it must be said. Some of y'all is fat and ugly and unattractive, but that is okay. Just be who you are. But you got to stop blaming Twitter, black men, and society for all of your problems.